Pinellas Amateur Radio Club. Beginning of a new year. We're going to go ahead and get the meeting started on time. We're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. So for anybody that wishes to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Whoop. Sorry. Oh, sorry about that.
Jerry, just so you know, you look like the Hulk when you stood up. I don't know what kind of lighting you got going on there, but your skin was green.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
I hope I don't have another medical problem I'm unaware of.
No, I said Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. Anyways, I'd like to start off. Oh, sorry. So my name is Jack Kinney, November 4, Kilo India November, and I am the new president of the club. And I wanted to start off and thank the 2020 board of directors and officers, Alan Streitman, Jason Esterline, Steve Foy, Jeff DeGrasse, and our member at large, Glenn Panazzolo. These guys have done a lot of work over the last year, especially with our transition to a incorporated entity and being set up as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. A lot of work went into that. They worked really hard, and I appreciate it, and hope everyone in the club appreciates the work they did too. So I just wanted to give them some extra notice. So guys, thank you for all the hard work you did, and we'll move on. So
Thank you.
here you see your 2020 board of directors and officers. It's myself, and the rest of you officers want to say hello?
Yeah, 2021 though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Jason here.
There's Jason, member at large.
Alan Streitman, Vice President. Happy
Jeff
New Year,
DeGrasse.
everybody.
Jeff DeGrasse, Treasurer.
E. Hooker, Secretary. Happy New Year.
All right. Yes. Hopefully 2021 will be better than 2020. So why don't we go ahead and do introductions? I can't see everybody who's in, so
Yeah, so unfortunately, people kind of move around on the list. So we're going to kind of call you. Well, how about if we just kind of call on people, Jack, if you want me to do that, and then
yeah, if you don't mind, it's kind of weird over here trying to share and do Zoom control at the same time.
yeah, that's fine. So I'll go ahead and just kind of call on people and say, say hello and who you are and all that stuff. And then if we kind of get to the end and we haven't called on you, we'll give you a chance to come in. Okay. So just know that the reason why it's a problem is because as people talk and do things like that, they move around on the list. So it doesn't just stay in one order. So let's start with Mark, K8LSB.
Good morning. I'm logging on from West Hartford, Connecticut. And I usually come down to Florida for about a month or so every year. And I've been coming at least to the February and sometimes the March meetings each year. So I've joined again this year, and I'm looking forward to coming down around the beginning of February, and I'll be living in Tarpon Springs.
Oh, very good. Well, good to have you, and hope to have you here a little more. That's awesome. All right, next up is George.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the new year. I'm just a member and enjoying it. I just got a new inverted V up, which is working very nice, but I had to sell my tower, which I got too nervous about putting up with lightning around here because I couldn't put in a good ground plane.
Gotcha. George, what's your call sign, sir?
WB9 AZV, Able
Awesome.
Zebra Victor.
Awesome, thank you.
I have a couple questions at some point.
Okay, I'll let Jack determine when to have those.
Well, let's just go ahead and do them now real quick.
I got the email for our dues renewal and I did that on the 30th, I think. But then yesterday I got another email says I'm not paid up and I need to renew my dues. You aware of that?
Yeah, how did you pay?
Put a credit card online, just like it wanted.
Really? Okay, so you didn't use PayPal or anything?
Well, I used your form on there.
Okay,
I went through the thing and when it selected the payment method, I used credit card.
okay. I'll look you up. I'm pretty sure we got your payment. Let me know if you get another notice. If you would, please just send a message to board@upark.org if you get another notice, but there may have just been a little bit overlap there in it,
Yeah.
marking them paid or whatever.
And then I went on to the website because I was going to give our treasurer a call or whoever to see who was managing that. And our website doesn't show any of the officers' phone number, any contact information.
Yeah, we don't really want the bots to get a hold of it. We'll that's a good note, though. We'll actually, maybe we can add the email addresses to,
Well, we're gonna, George, we're gonna go over that, about some email addresses here actually on the next slide. And for anybody else that has questions about dues, if you'll just kind of hold those, I'm gonna go over a couple things here in a little bit about that.
Okay.
all right,
Thank you
awesome.
very much.
Thanks, George, for the questions. Dave Shuey, you're the next one showing up here on the list for me, outside of the officers.
Okay, Dave Shuey, WA3VRE in Manatee County.
All right, good to have you, Dave, as always. Next up, Donato.
Yeah, happy New Year, everybody. And again, thanks. I want to give a special thanks to Jason for kind of shepherding me through, getting with you guys and getting on the Zoom. My situation is such that I'm trying now to study for my technician's license, and I was looking for some opportunities locally. I live in the north part of Clearwater, so I'm like just a few minutes away from Palm Harbor, and I saw you guys were a club nearby, and Jason was instrumental in helping me get hooked up with you. And my interest is some experienced members that could maybe help me or advise me on how to study for the test, and also on types or different options of equipment out there. I have not bought anything yet. I want to wait till I pass my test and hopefully become a productive member of the organization. I was able to, Jason, thanks to you, I got the book that you recommended, which is Pass Your Amateur Radio Technician Class Test. Picked that up online, and a lot of information in there, but a lot of it's common sense too, as I'm sure you guys know. But again, I just happy to be here, and thank you for your invitation.
Well, thanks. I appreciate the call out there. Glad that you made it, sir. And if we can be of any help to you, Jack will share some contact details of how to get in touch with us. You already know how to reach me. I'm happy to help you answer any questions and point you in the right direction. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Jerry Pollock.
Jerry Pollock, WR6N in Palm Harbor. Happy New Year, everybody. And that's about it here.
All right, awesome. Glenn.
Morning, everybody. Glenn Panizzolo, N4ESU, currently in Brooklyn, New York. I usually spend a few of the months during the winter down in Florida, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'll be getting down there anytime soon. So good to see everybody on the Zoom meetings.
Thanks, Glenn. Good to have you. We miss you on the board, buddy. For those of you that don't know Glenn, Glenn was a longtime member on the board. He's done a lot of roles here and really was instrumental in getting us to where we're at today. So thanks, Glenn. Appreciate you. Let's see, Henry, take it away, Henry.
Henry, AK4M, Clearwater. Just glad to be on here. I'm in town for a little while. Even with the pandemic and everything, I'm still traveling not quite as much, but still I've been out of town twice since the last time I was on here. So staying busy. That's it.
All right, well, thank you. Mark?
I already introduced myself before.
Oh, you did? Sorry about that. LaDon, how about you? Haven't seen you in a while.
Hello, I'm LaDon, WA5AMA. I'm usually not on here because I'm usually at work.
Wow, congratulations.
Good
on
to have
having
you.
the day off.
Thank you.
Ken Martins? You're muted, buddy. I don't think I can unmute him. Ken, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
There we go.
Okay, Ken Martins, call sign WK4KM. Sorry about that. I've got a new computer. I gotta get used to it. Oh, well. Thank you, Jack. Back to you.
Let's see, Ken Skaggs?
So Ken Skaggs, Tarpon Springs. I am basically up against the line of Hillsborough and Pasco County in the upper part of Pinellas. Call signs WQ3V and back to net.
All right, awesome. The other Ken, might as well do all the Kens in a row. Ken Sure.
Ken trifecta.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, this is Ken Sure, KO4V in the countryside area, Clearwater. Wishing everybody a happy new year.
Good to have you. The other Mark O. Muted, Mark.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, this is Mark Opid. I'm up in Oldsmar. I'm KN4 Yankee Quebec Charlie, and wishing everybody a happy new year.
Awesome. Good to have you. Paul.
I'm Paul, WA2DSF in Tarpon Springs. I've been a ham since 1969. Then I let my license expire and got the technician and general again. I used to be an advanced up in New York, but here I am in Tarpon Springs. So happy New Year, everybody.
Hey, good to have you back. Glad you made it back to the hobby. Ron, W4RFA.
Good morning, everybody. This is Ron from Dunedin, W4RFA, and Happy New Year. See you. Thank you.
All right, awesome. I think Rick.
Hi, I'm WA4VAR. I just joined up. I've been a ham since about, I think, 1975. I worked at Radio Shack at the time. I've been inactive for quite a while, so I'm trying to kind of get back into it again. And a lot of things have changed. I'm trying to get into the digital world, D-Star and so forth. So as I'm approaching retirement, I'm kind of trying to get more into it.
Awesome. Well, welcome, man. It's great to have you here. Did I miss anyone at all? Anybody that didn't get to go? I think we got everybody. Yeah. Jack, do we want to do anything more? Have each officer say hello, or?
Sure. Alan.
Good morning, everybody. Alan Streitman, W4UB. I'm the vice president, as I previously introduced myself, located in Palm Harbor. And I'm available if anybody needs any help mentoring or has questions about antennas. I like to operate on HF, but you'll also find me on a repeater. Back to chair.
All righty, D.
Yes, good morning. Your brand new secretary, and I owe my station, most of what I have here at the house was assisted by W4UB Alan, who's very good with wire antennas. And, I'm still amazed at how well it works. So Happy New Year, everyone.
Jeff? Oh, you're muted, Jeff.
Yes, good morning. I'm Jeff DeGrasse, and I'm your treasurer. I live in Oldsmar, and I have also been assisted by Alan in terms of my equipment and my antenna setup and so forth and all. Wish everybody a happy new year and a prosperous one as well. And back to Net.
Jason?
All right, good morning, everybody. You've heard me talking here in the background quite a bit. Jason Esterline. I am member at large this year, and my call is in for BOZ. I'm here in Palm Harbor, and good to still be here. Good to see everybody back, and Happy New Year.
All righty, and I'm Jack Kinney, N4KIN. I'm also in Palm Harbor. I tend to do a lot of digital stuff. At the moment, my HF station is offline because of weather and a tree falling and all kinds of stuff like that. So I've got to get that up. But I do enjoy doing a lot of FT8 and digital modes. And I'll just apologize in advance if you see me constantly fidgeting with my glasses. For anybody who wears glasses, I'm sure you can appreciate how inconvenient it is when an earpiece breaks off and you don't have a spare pair. So that's why my glasses look all squirrely. And so I wait for my new ones to come in. So we're gonna move on. So when we were talking about, George was talking about email addresses. So this year and moving forward, we've set up some new email addresses so that you don't have to remember Alan's address versus Jason's versus mine. And you'll just be able to email to the position at upark.org. So as you see on the screen, president at upark.org, VP at upark.org. And then behind the scenes, we have those set to go to the, the personal email addresses of those people. So it'll make it a lot easier if you need to communicate with officers. So we'll probably, I hadn't talked to him about it, but Jason, maybe we could send out an email if that's not too much trouble, that does an email update for people so they kind of know what the new ones are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy to report there that I don't appear to have an email on that list. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, well, I think you have one with your call sign, maybe, but maybe we should talk about that. Yeah, because now that you mention that, I did notice that the member at large doesn't have one. Okay, so I kind of set this up. So for anybody who didn't know, last year we filed to incorporate the club. So we are now officially the Upper Pinellas Amateur Radio Club Incorporated. And after that was done, that team went and filed to make us a charitable organization. So we are a 501c3 recognized charitable organization in the eyes of the Internal Revenue Service. And there's a couple of people that were, did a lot of work on that, predominantly Ken Skaggs, W3QV, Alan Streitman, W4UB, and I think Jason Esterline kind of all worked on all those things that needed to happen over time to get that task done. And a lot of work was involved in getting that done. And I appreciate it because they got it all done before, I had to take the helm. So it was kind of a nice transition and not have to worry about carrying it over. So a big thanks to you guys for getting all that work done and moving the club forward. That does mean now, if you wish, and I'm not trying to get anybody to do it, but if you wish to make tax deductible donations, you can now do that to the club if you wish. And I'm sure there'll be some more information about that as the details get finalized. So there's been some changes, as everybody knows who's gotten the Wave Apps email. So first, let me apologize you got sent invoices that we didn't warn you in advance that were coming. That was an oversight on our part in the quest to try to get with the new incorporation and changing the back end system on how we manage the accounting to a new accounting system and changing the method of moving to everybody pays in January. The invoices were sent late, and so we apologize. If you did get an email from Wave Apps saying, hey, Ken Sure, your membership's due and you owe $25 or whatever prorated amount was calculated for you, that is legitimate. And when you pay that way, it automatically just feeds right back into the back end accounting system. We have a dashboard, makes it easy to see who's paid and who hasn't. And that's how that's going to work going forward. When you get that email, just so you know, if you don't pay like 7 days from the first one, you'll get another reminder. And then 14 days after that, you'll get another reminder about paying. But it works easy. And frankly, I mean, for me, it was faster to pay using Wave Apps than it was via PayPal. We're not necessarily getting rid of PayPal, but we're going to kind of move it to the background because when you use PayPal, there is a fee that we incur for you to pay that way. We don't get that with Wave Apps. And one of the reasons the Wave Apps was selected originally was because they did integration with PayPal, and then Jason got everything set up and they said, oh, by the way, at the end of December, we won't integrate with PayPal anymore. So you can still use PayPal, but we definitely prefer if you pay off the invoice that we can emailed. But moving forward, so this
Can I make one quick correction? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Yeah, just one quick correction there. We do still pay the same exact amount of fee, Jack, when they pay through Wave Apps. So Wave Apps, guys, is an accounting system that's a cloud-based accounting system, and they provide that to small businesses and entities like us for free. The way that they actually make money is on the credit card processing fee. So we don't necessarily save anything in the way of fees unless you were to pay by bank transfer instead of credit card, then we save a little bit. But the benefit of it is honestly is that then right away the system knows that you paid. You would cease getting those reminders. And quite honestly, it supports the people who've given us the free accounting software instead of us paying monthly for like QuickBooks Online, which could be very daunting to a budget like ours. And then it also obviously alleviates some of the pressure on the treasurer to record payments and things like that. So as Jack mentioned, we will obviously take PayPal payments. We think that's still an important thing to give people some options. But if possible, now that you know that it's legitimate, if possible, if you haven't already paid your invoice and you could pay through that, it would be greatly appreciated. Sorry, back to you, Jack.
Thank you for clarifying that, Jason. Yeah, so moving forward, December 1st, this year, December 1st, 2021, we will issue invoices again for 2022. And then dues will be payable by January 1st. So this year we'll send some reminders out to make sure that people know that it's coming, remind them that it's legit and it's not spam and the Russians trying to get your credit card number.
I have a question.
Sure.
Are you still doing the family or is it per individual?
We are no longer doing, anybody correct on the board, correct me if I'm wrong, but we eliminated the family membership. It's just now an individual membership for $25.
All memberships are family, Jack.
Oh, they are? Okay. All memberships are family and it's $25. So.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions about that, folks?
Yep.
Awesome.
So we're going to move on to our officer reports. Dee, I don't know if you necessarily have anything. I mean, we have the minutes that were done for the December meeting. Those meetings were posted to the website and to the forum as we typically do. And that was Steve Foy did that in his previous position. I don't know that I'm just going to do a quick check. D, you don't have anything that needs to be added to this, do you?
No, Steve left me in good shape, so I'll be doing that going forward. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to state that the meetings were distributed to the website. Are there any corrections needed? Okay, if there are no corrections, the meetings are approved as distributed. And we're now going to move on to the treasurer report with our treasurer, Jeff DeGrasse.
Okay. Alrighty, this is our report for the month of December. And there's one important thing about this report, and it was basically because of the introduction of the WAVE accounting system and all of the flurry of activities here. I only am recording the transactions up to December 29th, which is essentially before the WAVE activity occurred, because it's virtually impossible for me to give you an accurate count of, where we're at right now today. It takes a little bit of time to kind of digest all these numbers and so forth, and then to see how, the balances turn out. So bear in mind that this is a pre-WAVE thing for the most part. Okay. So we'll talk about income now, and we had 3 members pay dues. One of those members is a new member, so it's good that we increased our membership count by 1. We had no donations, no raffle proceeds, of course. And again, we had our typical 9 cents in bank dividend fees. I don't think I'll be going to Belize on that amount. We did get a WAVE deposit, though. This was kind of some early activity from Alan and Jason. So that gave us $47.97. So our total income for that month of December that we're tracking here comes to $123.06.
Not that one. I haven't looked at it.
Wait, here. Because we had the first COVID test from there.
George, I think you should mute.
Yeah, I muted him.
I took care of it.
You can go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, yeah, I had to change a few things. Under expenses now, in PayPal fees, we had $3.09. QHT, we had some charges for $63.61. Now, this is a little bit more than our typical QHT charges because we had some kind of issues with QHT tracking our payments and making some mistakes on what we thought we had paid and what we owed. So anyhow, we actually have paid our QHT, but we also have a balance at QHT as of December 29th. That was a little kind of just a billing issue between us and them and all. And then we have a $53 charge for the post office box. So our expenses for the month are $119.70. Okay, I gotta move these pictures out of the way. Oops. Okay, now under balance, our Achieva checking is $152.12. Our Achieva savings account is $2,206.40. And our petty cash is $142, and our PayPal balance is $47.94. So our total balance comes out to be $2,548.46. And to summarize, we have 6 to 8 members on our membership list right now. We will be culling some of our members out of this here after the first of the year, those that have not been paying their dues, and some of them are quite many months in arrears. But we now have 52 paid members, and we have a new statistic here that 76.5% have paid their dues. So, and again, we will probably, at the first of February meeting, we'll be able to roll up all of this and clear out some of the clutter in our membership lists and resolve all of these, invoice issues and stuff like that. And we should be pretty well on track by then. And we will also be using the new accounting system, which makes a nice, very nice transaction list. We will retire the Excel document that we've been using for our transaction list and go with a new one. And I also want to make special note to, this has been a big effort, and Jason has been responsible for building the membership database in Wave Apps. Alan, Jason, and myself have gone through and done all the billing by hand right now, and that turned out to be not that bad of a process to initiate them. It's just that now we're dealing with the fallout of doing the payments and so forth. So anyhow, I do appreciate the help from the guys, and we're learning as we go, but we're gonna get this working pretty slick, I think. So that's about all I have from here. Any questions or comments?
Jeff, I just wanted to add the statistics on the number of members, paid members and percent paid are statistics from last year, correct?
Actually,
yeah, that's correct, Alan. They'll be adjusted once all the wave stuff is calculated. So because this report is 2 days short, once we kind of get the aggregate of everybody who's paid in December put together, we will amend this report and update the percentage paid and have that available if anybody wants to see it.
I have a question regarding the Wave Apps deposit, that $47.97. What exactly is the source of that?
Glenn and Alan each have a payment, and I just added it up, and that's the total.
Jason.
Wasn't it Jason and Alan?
Yeah.
So it's technically dues, right?
Yeah, it was incoming dues.
No.
Yes. It was incoming dues.
Was that what it is? Okay. Well, I've tried for days to figure out exactly what it was, and I never heard the term dues, but okay.
All right, we'll handle it. Sorry about that. We'll handle that offline. Yes, that was incoming dues payments. There was 2 test invoices that were done initially, one to Alan, one to myself. We paid those early. And when it's weird how it happens, because what happens is when somebody makes a payment, it goes into like a holding type account until they release the funds into our account. So that's what it was.
I was about to say, you guys are great. We're getting $50 a month income from a Wave App.
That was for referring people. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that'll be consolidated in the next report, and they'll just be simply dues. So, well, that Wave App deposit won't exist after this report.
I apologize. I didn't realize you had a new system. I paid through PayPal.
Well, when you look at the Achieva checking account, any payments from Wave Apps is stated Wave Apps, and you don't get the detail.
Well, Glenn, and we'll just giving you grief for making Jason's life harder for having to manually insert your payment from PayPal into Wave Apps.
That's right. Some people didn't know, and that's okay. And as Jack mentioned, that was just a lack of communication on our part. We just honestly, guys, we were really pushed to get all this done and going, and there's no excuses, but that's what happened. So,
any other questions before we proceed? All right. So on to committee reports and the repeater, Alan.
Okay. Well, the repeater's been working fine. I've received no complaints, and it seems to be still performing in an excellent manner after we got it back online. HamWAN is also functioning. We're not really using it. And Echolink will be completed once we get access to the Palm Harbor Fire Station. I had a discussion with Jack about it. I usually reach out to the deputy chief every month. I haven't spoken to him this month yet, and I plan to do that in the next couple of days so we could get the status on if he had any updates for us regarding the fire station opening up again. Once it opens up for visitors, we'll also be able to start testing again. Back to Jack.
All righty, thank you. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
No, when you get in your car, throw your call sign out. Have a conversation, folks.
Yeah, that is a good point. You know, we've spent a lot of money this year or the past year on the repeater with some of the storm-related issues that have gone on. I'm sure if anybody pays attention to the treasurer's report, the checking account is, you know, took a big hit this year, sending people up and down the tower trying to get all that resolved. So it is running. So to Jason's point, if you're out and about, call out on the repeater and get a conversation going with somebody. So we're going to move on to Alan's next report, Club Nets.
We had 5 nets for the month of December. The net controllers were Jack. He had 16 check-ins. Jerry had 15. I had 12. Ken had 13 and Tom had 12 for a total of 68. It seems like our numbers are getting back to where they were before we had repeater issues. I'm glad to see that. And our club nets are held every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on the U Park repeater at 147.120 with a positive offset of 600 kilohertz and a PL tone of 100 hertz. Following that net, we have a rag chew on simplex at 146.575. And it doesn't happen every Tuesday, but we also have a rag chew after the simplex rag chew on 40 meters, 7.282. That can vary a little bit depending upon if the frequency is occupied. Encourage everybody to get on the net, and I'll be listening for y'all.
Yep, and to parrot what Alan would typically say, we're always looking for new net controllers. It's not hard. We'd love to have you. So if you're interested in doing it, please contact Alan or myself, and we can help you get started. It's really not hard. It's a fun thing to do, and who knows, we could get some new and interesting things going on.
Hey, can I add one thing?
Sure.
Sorry about the microphone. I'm on the camera's audio. You can figure out something on this mic. But the one thing on net controllers, you know, if you're not ready to, you know, you see what you might have picked up what I do. I always do the 5th Tuesday if it falls. So I don't do it that often, but you know, a couple times a year, but 2-3 times a year. You may just want to commit to saying, hey, I'll be a fill net controller if somebody's not available, and that you know, if you want to get started rather than commit to a particular day, that I think even that would be helpful. That way, if somebody can't make it, we have a group of people who can fill in. Even that would help. So just an idea.
Yeah, no, that's actually a great idea, Tom, and I do agree, because there is a limited number of those of us who could do it. And like, just for me, for example, for Thanksgiving, you know, we went to our daughter's house, so I ended up being out of state. I wasn't able to do my net control duty, and so, you know, somebody had to go in and backfill me. So I actually like that idea a lot, Tom. If you don't want to be officially on the schedule, but you don't mind being available now and then, if somebody needs a fill-in controller, let us know. We'll take that too. We'll take anybody that wants to help out.
Yeah, and obviously, if you don't have me on the list of fill-ins, Jack, I would do that. Obviously, I was one of the normal rotation for several years, and but I would be happy to fill in if somebody, you know, needed to call on me. That's one thing. The other thing is, folks, is it's not difficult, as Jack mentioned, and it's very good experience to know how to manage and handle incoming traffic, so that we could be of service should we be needed in a hurricane type situation or something like that, right? You never know when you're going to get thrown into it. I'll give you an example. We did As the ACS Aries group, we did an annual communications for an annual event that they did down in by Gandy a couple of years ago called the Frogman Swim. And it's a money to raise money for Navy SEAL for military people that have passed in the line of duty. And I can tell you that Jeff Palmer, the president of CARS, was at that activity with us. And we were standing there in the morning meeting at 5 a.m. on the beach, and they said, "We need somebody to be net control. Jeff, can you do it?" And he was literally on the spot that fast, folks. So, and he did it, and that was a very, that was a busy net compared to what our normal net is. But the point is that it's very good experience for you to get in a very non-threatening, relaxed situation here with our group. Okay, so think about that. If you've ever had any desires to help in emergency communication, that's an absolutely essential skill to have. So think about it that way too.
Yeah, and one more thing that I would add is, if you're somebody new to amateur radio, you only have to have a technician license to run the weekly net, because it's just VHF, UHF. So anybody with a technician class license, can do that. So if you have that and you wanted to, but you think you had to be a general or something, you don't. You just need a valid technician class license. All right, so we're going to go on to social activities. Historically, this is where Alan would give me a slide and ask me about social activities, and I would say, well, that's easy. There are no social activities other than, the weekly Trader Trivia Net every Tuesday at 8 p.m. I did not put it on here, but we had our first annual board meeting this morning before this, where we talked about, for those who were a fan of U Park in the Park, when COVID started, we just kind of quashed that, right? Where the monthly breakfast went away, U Park in the Park went away. But, we did discuss about starting that back up as long as we're using common sense and we're distancing and, basing how many people can attend kind of on where we're doing it. U Park in the Parks happen in a couple different places. Like when we go to Honeymoon Island, there's like two different shelters we typically use, and they're pretty small. So, I mean, you probably couldn't have more than 4 people, at that one, unless people that weren't working were, set off, in a distance. And we need to figure out some logistics, like how we're going to do that, because obviously we don't want to share microphones and things like that. But, we don't have anything set in stone, but we've at least started talking about maybe trying to do those again, if we can make it work and make it safe. And if people want to participate, obviously nobody is required to participate. It's, not really anything official, just trying to get us doing more amateur radio stuff. So does anybody have any thoughts on that? I'm sure somebody out there will have some thoughts about that.
I just wanted to say that Honeymoon does have larger pavilions in their picnic area. And I think they're open. If they're not reserved, you can get them on a first come, first served basis.
Okay.
Awesome. So if you would consider doing a U Park in the Park event, if you can just kind of show a hand there, get an idea of who would be interested in doing it under the right conditions. Obviously limited people, social distancing, being smart about it. If you would be interested in that, raise your hand. My hand is raised even though I don't have a camera on. So
I got a couple people. Well, that's good. And obviously don't feel any pressure. If you don't want to do it because of COVID, that's perfectly fine. It's just, if it's something you want to do and we can just, make it safe and follow, use common sense, then, we can do that and have a little fellowship, because I think that's something that, while I'm thankful that there's been Zoom and we've been able to continue to have our meetings, it's, as some people have said, it's not quite the same. There's no donut bites, we don't have Ron bringing little donut holes in, and it's not quite the same as being able to see everybody. So we'll talk more about that, and we'll send out something when we get some more details.
Yeah, so one quick comment there from the chat. Tom mentioned the joint antenna construction is his biggest concern. If people can do their own antenna, set it up, or use masks and gloves and hand sanitizer and, be smart, he thinks it may be okay. And he would also assume that mask wearing would be a given, and I would agree with that as well. So just a comment there from the chat in case you couldn't see it, Jack.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't see it. So thank you, Tom. And, and it is important, right? Because when we do those things, obviously, anybody who's gone to field day knows that everybody's all over everything. And it's probably worse when it's warm outside. And, some of us did know Ken, who was a member of our club and a member of East Lake CERT, who passed away due to COVID-19. So, we don't want to minimize the risk, but we just want to be safe and make sure that everybody is comfortable. So again, we'll kind of hash this out and discuss it, and we'll come up with something and see about maybe getting an event set up sometime in the next month or so. So we're going to move on to announcements. One of the first ones is we need volunteers for tech presentations. I would like to try to get the schedule of tech presentations, flushed out so we have the entire year that can be posted up front. In my opinion, while we are an amateur radio club, I like communications and how communications work and different methods of communications. So when we do things and like we have presentations like Tom did on the, sorry, I'm probably gonna get the ADS-B, the airline stuff, and how you can take a Raspberry Pi and an antenna and see all the flight traffic that's going on. All that stuff is communications related, and I find it all very interesting. So I don't think that a presentation needs to be limited to an amateur radio topic. If you have something about, I don't know, how you rewired a garage door opener to make your 2-meter radio go somehow, I don't know, but we would love to have volunteers to do tech presentations. I'm sure nobody wants to spend an hour on Saturday morning and just hear boring club business stuff going on all the time. I know I don't. So if you have any ideas, please let us know. You want to get on the schedule. There's a couple people that have done multiple presentations, and it's always good to have new blood. It doesn't matter if you've been in the club for 5 minutes or 5 years. I think we'll take it as long as it's on topic of communications. Alan noted that the FCC, there had been some chatter about licensing fees. And I'm sorry, I don't recall what the original license fee was, but the FCC has reduced it to $35. Was it something like 50?
50.
50, and that's for renewal of our licenses?
Yes, so it's going to 35, and that would be, I guess, for renewals. I think it also includes vanity calls. Is that so, Tom?
Tom's shaking his head, I think, in frustration from technical problems.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I forgot I do have the mic. I don't know if it applies, if there's a separate one on the vanity. So I don't know, Alan. I don't remember that. I suspect yes, but I don't remember.
I think I saw it includes vanity plates when I was reading it.
Well, we're not talking about license plates. We're talking about your vanity call sign. So
No, that's what I'm talking about.
You're muted,
Tom.
I'm sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, I swear I heard the word plates. I apologize. So I think basically the idea is if it's an application the FCC has to act on, with the exception of things like you want to do an administrative change your address or change your email, that will not require a fee. So
obviously it includes your initial license fee.
Yes. Absolutely, yeah. So turns out to be, and it's a 10-year term, so it turns out to be $3.50 a year. So
You would think from some of the chatter on the internet about it, it's $350 a year.
I agree with you. Yeah, like I said in my email, I'm most concerned about the kids and introduction, and there's a debatable point on either side of that, but I'm not I don't understand all the, I guess if you're trying to get into amateur radio on, with a Belfang somebody gave you and not spending more than $10, you got a problem. But that's you're kind of in the wrong hobby. So.
Yeah.
So if anybody needs to do a license test, there will be Laurel VE testing that CARS is doing on January 11th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Clearwater Fire Training Facility on North Belcher Road, where if you've been to summer or winter field day traditionally the past few years, that's where that testing is being done. Testing as far as U Park, when that will resume depends on when the Palm Harbor Fire Rescue allows regular use of the community room again, and we don't have any new information on that. And I believe Spark is also doing, limited scheduled testing as well. Is that correct, Tom?
That is correct. Yes, they do it twice a month. And there's information on the Spark St. Petersburg Amateur Radio Club's website.
According to Mike Branda, the Spark session, I guess in January is already filled.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that neither of these groups, CARS or Spark, are accepting just walk-ins. I'm pretty sure you're going to have to schedule specifically to be there.
That's correct.
So yeah, if you need to take a test, then make sure Mike Brand is the best person to talk to. He is Mr. VE testing in the Pinellas County anyway. Are there any other announcements anybody needs to make?
I don't know if it's an announcement, Jack, but I apologize, I don't remember from the agenda. Were you going to chat at all about Winter Field Day? Because that falls the end of this month. I mean, obviously we're not participating on a big group level together.
Yeah, I didn't have it in this. Yeah, I didn't have it in the slides because at the board meeting this morning, we kind of discussed Winter Field Day. Tom, I don't know about you from the standpoint of Spark or Ron. I'll just ask you because you're also a member of CARS. I haven't heard any chatter from club officers about Winter Field Day at the Clearwater Fire Department. I'm kind of assuming that it's not happening unless we're just going to start talking about it now.
There's nothing planned. No, I think the take on it is to do use the way they changed their rules to do the aggregate from home, very similar to what we did in summer. So hopefully this will be the last time, and then the next one in June we'll be able to get back to what we normally do. Hope, cross our fingers. But yeah, no, I think this will be. There's no plans that I know of.
So I'd like to add then, as doing communications, one of the things we talked about this morning is for summer field day, obviously there wasn't a ton of communication other than that we weren't doing field day as a group together, of course. But what we'll do this time, folks, is we will send out some information about Winter Field Day via email, and we will tell you how to participate from home in these days of COVID. And if you would like to contribute to our group score for our 3-club group, and we will tell you exactly how to submit at the end in order to do that. And we'll make sure that that's very clear so that we can actually participate from home and do an aggregate score from anybody that participates. Okay.
Hey, Jason, one thing, you reminded me, it's probably, I will schedule for like in 2 Saturdays from now, I will schedule same thing, similar thing, presentation I did for Summer Field Day on how to do it again, because people may not have set it up on their computer and whatnot. So
that'd be great.
You reminded me that, yeah, well, I'll publicize that.
Okay, yeah, if you would do that, Tom, I'd put it out in one big announcement, right, to our group at least. And then, so if you just want to give me Zoom info, it's probably the only thing I need initially, and the date and time. I'll send that out along with whatever information you want me to provide about how they do things and so on and so forth.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks.
Thanks.
Appreciate that, Tom. Thank you. Does anybody else have any announcements? Alrighty, well, we have the standing announcement that Fire Station 65 is closed until visitors until further notice. And so hopefully Alan will be able to get in touch with the deputy chief and get some kind of update as to what 2021 is going to look like. So that's all I have for the meeting. Unfortunately, we do not have a tech presentation. for this particular meeting, as we've been scrambling around with all the end of year changes. So hopefully we'll get something lined up for February. And as I said, need volunteers for tech presentations. So please contact me or any other board member if you are interested in doing a tech presentation. And hopefully we will see those in the coming months. I have this slide. It says motion to adjourn, but we really don't need a motion to adjourn the meeting, as I understand it. So unless anybody has anything else, I'm going to say thank you for attending. Our next meeting is on February 6th, Saturday, February 6th. Also, if you're not signed up and you would like to get text alerts to your phone, you can text UPark to 84483, and we will send you alerts about important things. Oops, sorry about that. We've kind of scaled back the number of text messages that we send because the provider that we use now charges. They're no longer free. So we've just kind of reduced them down to important ones. We also have, if you didn't know, these web URLs for the club website and the forum. If you just want to talk to the board all in one shot, you can email board@upark.org, and that will go to all the officers. And I thank you all for coming. I look forward to an exciting 2021. Hopefully it's a better year. Hopefully we can get back to doing more group projects if the environment allows. And thank you very much. And if you want to hang out after this just for random chit chat, feel free.
Jason, can you make me a co-host if you need to leave so we can hang around?
Yep, I absolutely.